Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And it's time. Why do you look confused? You look confused immediately.
I just literally got out of the car from traveling back from Thanksgiving. I sat down in my chair. My state of mind, I don't know. I'm just pumping caffeine in my system right now.
Wow, you're on tilt already. We haven't even started. I haven't even told the people what we're doing today, although I assume they know from the thumbnail and the title that today we are reacting to Dave Meltzer star ratings. And how do we react to Dave Meltzer star ratings, Larson?
By me being a quarter star off.
Yeah, basically, yes. And me usually doing really, really well at this. Larson, today, you are in the hot seat, just as you were in the hot seat driving home from your Thanksgiving festivities. And so obviously, I think you're not feeling it today. You're not feeling great. You don't have the juice today, Larson.
But here's the thing. I feel like right now it's pure instinct. I'm not going to overthink anything.
Right. You're like an animal.
Yeah, the first number that pops in my head, bleh, that's what I'm going to say.
All right, sounds good. Because I'm looking at the newsletter right now, those other guys who waited an entire 5 days to deliver their star ratings, not like our star ratings, which are super fresh.
Yeah.
Dave Meltzer seems to be souring on the AEW this time because he says something was missing. In this case, it's the company's biggest problem. They are so strong on always building heels that they are lacking credible baby faces for those heels. Of the 9 pay-per-view matches, 6 had the heels going over and pretty cleanly. So this seems to be an issue for the Wrestling Observer himself. Larry.
Dave just wants the baby face to root for.
He did say this. Did he do the? Oh, we're doing the big boom match, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll start off with that one then, because earlier in the write-up he said this. Where am I here? Here we go. AJ versus Marshall was absolutely a success to the live crowd and in helping get media publicity for the show, which likely helped late sales a lot because it was tracking to do closer to 8,000 than 10,000.
Yeah, got over 10,000 in the end.
And I love this. So I'm giving you this too a little bit here because this is not in the official write-up. It's in the pre-write-up.
Sure. But it's special circumstances, we got AJ in a match. So yes, I get it.
Because I'd probably put him in the thumbnail. AJ, and then he does the thing where he puts his real name. Andrew Bufomo Jr., 48. He's 48 years old.
Yeah, but same age as us.
Who did independent wrestling in New Jersey from 99 to 2003, suffered a broken foot early in the match. He wasn't sure when, but thought it may have been from a flying clothesline, but he worked the match to its finish. His son, so it seems like he didn't walk into it as some were reporting. It happened early in the match, so whatever.
Some confusion there.
His son Eric, 12, called Big Justice, taken from one of Bufomo's wrestling names, who as part of his act was in his corner and gave Marshall a spear to one of the bigger pops on the show. The Rizzler was the timekeeper. He didn't give the Rizzler's real name. The crowd was into all of them. All right. So let's go to his actual write-up of each of the matches, and we will start with that. Big Boom AJ, pinning QT Marshall in 11 minutes, 44 seconds. Marshall did a flip dive onto a bunch of security guys. Fans chanted for the Rizzler. While this worked, thanks to Marshall's work and AJ's appeal, it wasn't much of a match. AJ got really tired before he did the clothesline off the top where he appeared to have broken his foot. Marshall did a good job carrying things. Marshall went after the Rizzler, so White got up in his face. AJ used a top rope superplex. The finish saw Aaron Solo come out after AJ, which distracted the ref and allowed Big Justice, the 12-year-old, but he is a heavy kid, spearing Marshall to a big pop. Hey, he is a big kid.
Yeah.
AJ used a power bomb or power boom for the pin. Dave put the right name for it in there. All right, man, that's what you get. What did Dave Meltzer give this match?
So you said it wasn't much of a match, right? Am I paraphrasing it correctly?
No, that's exactly correct. While he's talking about the Rizzler, the fans chanting for him. While that worked, thanks to Marshall's work and AJ's appeal, it wasn't much of a match.
You know, it was very sports entertained. We each gave it 3 stars. Obviously, I don't think Dave's going to go that high because he will only be sports entertained so much before work rate is an important part of the whole process in terms of determining his star ratings.
Correct.
So, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things where I kind of feel like it's going to be a situation where he's going to go right down the middle. I'm saying he gave it 2.5 stars.
You get a boom. You're on the board. There you go.
Hey,
Animal Larson works.
Before we get to the main card, there was a match that I tried my best to stay off Twitter. Like all yesterday, all today. There's one match that was spoiled for me. I can tell you which one that is. I'll get it wrong purposely, and Steve will have to figure out which one that is.
All right. Sounds good. We'll do that at the end of the
It's not going to take much work for you to figure out which one that was, though.
Yeah, I get a feeling I already know what it is. First match of the main card. Private Party retained the AEW tag titles. The focus of this match seemed to be turning Max Caster heel.
Seemed to be. It was the exclusive focus of this match.
In his opening rap, he did a homophobic line that Anthony Bowens got mad at. Bowens threw the mic right past him. I didn't actually watch the rap, so I saw on social media the throw of the mic, but I didn't watch the actual rap. So
I didn't either.
That. After the reaction Buddy Matthews got, I figured the crowd would be hot for Black and King, but they weren't. I figured they'd be hot for the Outrunners, but it was more lukewarm. And Private Party is local, but they weren't into them at all. They brought out a bunch of women with glow sticks for Private Part and focused on one of the models. They picked the only one who wore it on her face with how disinterested she was. They booed the Acclaimed. Also local, but that's probably because of Caster, who was booed the entire match. Caster wasn't paying attention when Bowens wanted help. Turbo Floyd was doing all of the 80s babyface stuff, and then King just killed him dead. King superplexed Bowens, and Black did a double foot stomp on him, and then Black moonsaulted off the top rope to the floor and everyone. Magnum did a terrible-looking drop kick on Caster. Private Party both did 450s on the Outrunners, who both kicked out. Caster was flipping off the crowd. Then they did a stupid spot where Caster laid down and told Bowens to cover him. Excalibur said that obviously you can't win the match this way. Then Bowens covered him, and the ref counted anyways. So they made the match rules. The announcer and the ref all look idiotic with one spot. Bowens hit the arrival on Isaiah Cassidy, but Private Party did the gin and juice on Caster for the pin. Dave didn't seem to be into this match, dude.
No, we were kind of lukewarm on it, too.
Yeah.
Gosh. I'll say he went 3 stars.
No, he's actually you're kind of far off there. 2.25.
Wow.
Yeah, he did not like that match. He did not like that one, man.
Wow, way off on that one. All right,
man. Next up, get time to get back on track. You got the boom. Now you got one doom.
You know, Roderick Strong's in this next match. I feel like the floor is 3.5 stars for this one, but I'll wait to see what he has to say.
This is what he had to say. The crowd cheered MJF a lot. He didn't want that, so he called them white trash and said he's making millions shooting movies while your mama is shooting your daddy. Strong's mother years ago shot his father. MJF did everything he could to get booed. He put Strong's left hand inside the turnbuckle and worked it over the entire match with the idea it takes away the left-handed chops. MJF powerbombed Strong on the apron. Strong dropped MJF in the turnbuckle, gave him an Olympic slam. The crowd got behind Strong, but only a little bit. Strong used a cloverleaf, but MJF made the ropes. The idea was he couldn't get a full grip with his injured hand. Strong did a superplex and end of heartache on MJF, who got his foot on the ropes. MJF won with a brainbuster and then did the Fujiwara armbar, salt of the earth, while bending the fingers in Strong's left hand back. The match itself made perfect sense, but this was a tough crowd and they didn't react to the finish. After the match, MJF Pillmanized Strong's left hand. He set it up forever and nobody saved Strong. After he did it, Cole, Taven, and Bennett all ran in and MJF left. Kyle O'Reilly then showed up and yelled at Cole, saying it was his fault that Strong got hurt and Strong shouldn't have been sucked into fighting Cole's battles. He yelled at Cole for coming out late. Meanwhile, he came out even later. O'Reilly shoved Cole and helped Strong out of the ring. What star rating did Dave Meltzer give this match?
Wow, not much to work with.
A lot of description.
A lot of description. You know, he puts a lot of stock in crowd heat and crowd reaction.
Tough crowd.
He said this crowd, not so much in terms of the reactions, minimal in terms of crowd reactions. Given the participants, can't go too low. Gosh, do I go 3? Do I stick with 3.5 or I go 3 3/4? I said I wasn't going to think about it too much.
You said you're going to vomit out your answers.
3 3/4.
What you said. Actually, he went lower than your floor. 3 stars.
Wow.
Yeah,
man,
gave it a
he
doom.
is down on AEW.
He is, man.
3 matches in it, not a single
stuff.
4-star match?
He's ranking this stuff the way he used to rank WWE stuff.
Yeah, he is now.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's see what he says about this next one, because this next match was very good.
You got to get yourself a boom here, man, because you got 2 dooms and 1 boom. Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. This was the longest AEW women's match in history. Didn't know that either.
Really?
Apparently.
Wow.
I'm surprised Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa didn't have a long match.
Yeah, I would have thought like their Lights Out match or one of the other matches they had went long.
I don't know. He continues. It was also Moné's best match in the promotion. That's subjective. The crowd was heavily behind Statlander since she's from New York and Moné pushed being from Boston. Statlander did a press ascent on a standing moonsault. Moné had the advantage most of the way, but early on there wasn't much heat. I mean, she had to work for everything. Statlander did a buckle bomb. Statlander made a comeback but didn't get much reaction. She did a Chaos Theory suplex, but Moné got her foot on the ropes. They traded near falls and reversals. Statlander hit an F5 for a great near fall. Statlander missed a 450 and started selling her bad knee. Moné used elbow after elbow to the bad knee. Moné did a frog splash onto the left knee and a backstabber and moneymaker, but Statlander kicked out. The crowd actually gave the two a standing ovation. The finish on Moné punching Statlander's bad knee and using a Casadora for the pin. What rating did Dave Meltzer give this match?
So he said it was Mercedes' best match so far in AEW, huh? I feel like because she had a TV match against Sheeta that I feel like he gave a pretty good star rating to. You know, we both gave it 4.25. I'll say 4.25.
4.5 stars for this one.
It was really good.
He
was very good.
He went higher than we did.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving
on.
One
Another
boom,
doom.
3 dooms.
Right now, your only boom is in the pre-show. All right. Here we go. Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. Page did an overhead suplex to the floor. He's going right into the description here. Let's see here.
What happened to editorialize it? Come on, Dave.
Top rope, chop. This is all description.
I know what happened in the match. I don't need him to recap that.
We're deep. I'm just going to give you the finish, man.
That's fine.
The finish saw Page go for the buckshot lariat and White turn into a Blade Runner, but Page reversed it into the ankle lock, and then White reversed in the Blade Runner and got the pin. Boy, he's really checked out. His grammar's all over the place. They pushed that this was White's 5th career win over Page, and Page has only beaten him once. Page attacked White after the match. After the match, Christopher Daniels started yelling at Page, and Page decked Daniels. Literally nothing, but you got to go strictly off your own gut. There is nothing here to work with.
You know, he gave the first match 4 stars. I see that right here. You know, considering there was nothing, he didn't in any way compare it to their first match. I'm going to say he gave it a little bit lower. Same thing I did, 3.75.
He went the other way. He gave it 4.25 stars. Maybe comparable to the other stuff on the card. He was like, boy, this is crap. I've got to give some good star ratings here. I don't know. I'm not in the mind of the Wrestling Observer, Larson. Evidently neither are you, because that's a doom for you.
Wow, 1-4 now.
All right. Here's the one that was spoiled for you. Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay.
Should we just make an assumption going into these that any Will Ospreay match has been spoiled ahead of time?
Dude, people love spoiling the Will Ospreay match. They love talking about it on the Twitter when Dave Meltzer, because Dave Meltzer loves Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Shall we even put up the pretense?
No, he gave it 5.25. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
5.25. All right. Well, let me ask you this.
What would I give it if I had not been spoiled for me?
Is there any way that you could conceive of how he would have, like, I mean, this is number one, this is a huge write-up.
Yeah, he
is incredibly long.
For Will.
He says this, a little word of warning. Ospreay came out with his neck and shoulder all taped up. Unfortunately, I think he's on the path of Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson, because you can't keep one-upping yourself to this physical a degree like they were doing in this match. That is true. They were doing some crazy shit in this match.
They really were.
But he was out there trying and succeeding in having this awesome match and to make Fletcher into a star. How they keep coming up with new things is beyond me. From the start, the crowd was far more into it than anything else on the show.
Yeah.
Ospreay did a great job selling his neck. Let's see here. I'm trying to find other adjectives here. Ospreay wanted to do a skin the cat, do a tombstone pile driver, but lost Fletcher in trying to invent a new crazy spot. Look at that. He's even given points for failed ambition like I did. Fletcher almost landed on his head. Lots of moves and counters, and Ospreay hits a Spanish fly out of nowhere. Then, after so many crazy spots, Fletcher did a tombstone off the apron onto the ring steps between his knees and Ospreay's neck. I don't know where all the impact was, but they were going too far.
Oh,
Ospreay
wow.
was, he said they're going too far. Ospreay was selling, and Fletcher told him that they won't take a count, and he's better than Ospreay. Fletcher went for a tiger drive, but Ospreay hit the hidden blade. Fletcher came back with 2 running kicks and hit the brainbuster on the top turnbuckle. Got the clean pin. Ospreay sold it like he was hurt badly. They blew it by not having the doctor come out to check on him, or the announcers that concerned about the punishment he took. Mark Davis came out to check on Ospreay. So I don't know.
Based on that, if I had been spoiled for me, I would have said 5.5.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
Probably, because the floor for an Ospreay match is probably 4 3/4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You had Fletcher in there. My goodness.
Yeah.
All right. And he had a lot of really good things to say about that match. So I could see why he'd go there. All right, let's bring it down a little bit. Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry for the TNT title.
Wow, given away games to these other matches previously, I'll be shocked this is above 3 stars, but let's hear it.
Let's hear it. All right, here we go. Perry worked over Garcia's neck with a DDT off the apron onto the floor and a draping DDT off the barricade to the floor. Perry did a missile dropkick that wasn't pretty. Let's see here. Again, a lot of description here. All right. Perry goaded Garcia and handed him the belt with the idea that Garcia would hit him and get DQ'd. He didn't do it, and the ref took the belt away. Of course, Perry used a low blow and running knee, but Garcia kicked out. Garcia got a near fall with a foot-captured pile driver. Garcia hit really hard shots of pile driver, put on a scorpion deathlock, and Perry grabbed the ropes, but Garcia pulled him into the middle of the ring for the submission. There's like no description there, dude.
Other than one bad drop kick from Jack Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Said something was missing. We were both in the 3 3/4, 3.5 star range.
I think I gave this one 3. Yeah, I gave this 3 1/4.
3 1/4. I gave it 3.5. I'm gonna say he's gonna go 3 stars with this.
He went 3 3/4. He almost gave this 4 stars. I don't get that one.
I don't get that either.
I don't get that one at all.
So he was like down on the show. Ospreay match happened. Sorry, the Mercedes match happened. That's where it's turned around. It's the Mercedes match.
In a good mood.
And now he's just doling out stars left and right. All right,
man.
This next one's going to be interesting.
This is going to be interesting. A little bit of controversy for you and I because we rated this pretty low. I rated this super low.
Yeah, it was 2 3/4 for you.
Yeah, I was not into this match. Here goes Dave. They mentioned that Takeshita would be defending the title if he won on the 1-5 show, on the January 5th show, January 11-5 show. But on the one, January, the upcoming show.
One, yeah.
Okay. But didn't mention Kenny Omega's return on that show. They started strong with Takeshita doing a running kick that knocked Ricochet off the apron. He followed with a backbreaker on the barricade. He used a backbreaker and rolling blue thunder bomb. Ricochet came back with a space-flying tiger drop with a twist and a springboard 450 for a near fall. Takeshita used a spinning blue thunder bomb for a near fall. This is moves. Ricochet went for a hidden blade but missed it when Takeshita collapsed. Takeshita used a package tombstone. They traded near falls before Takeshita got the pin after a running knee and a falcon arrow off the top rope. No description whatsoever.
Said they started strong. Right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah. They started strong with Takeshita doing a running kick. Yeah.
Dave's not giving me much to work with today.
Not really.
So I feel like he's going to rate this higher than you and I did. Now the question is going to be 3.5 or 3. I'm going to go 3 3/4. He seems like he's in a good mood now, so I'll say 3 3/4.
Another doom for the day. 4 1/4.
So what's missing at this point for Dave?
I don't know. Strong baby faces. Apparently like a Ricochet, like Swerve Strickland in the next match. Like, I don't know. All right.
Was Daniel Garcia not a strong enough baby face for Dave Meltzer?
Maybe not in a prominent enough spot is his point.
What's
all
next?
right.
This is abysmal.
Bobby Lashley versus Swerve Strickland. Well, what one thing, dude, he's not giving you a lot of description.
No, he's not giving much
editorializing. Yeah.
No.
All right. Lashley used power early and used a dominator and picked Strickland up before the 3. That's cool if you're going to lose or facing a prelim wrestler. Lashley did a one-arm vertical suplex and a power slam for a near fall. Strickland came back and was on the top rope when Shelton Benjamin distracted Strickland and Lashley nailed him. Let's see here. What is this? Oh, okay. The ref kicked Benjamin out. It's a long write-up, but it's a lot of description here. Okay, here we go. He gave him another spear in the ring and won with the hurt lock submission. So there's a finish. Real good, but I don't get the purpose. Unless Lashley was going for the world title next, Strickland shouldn't lose in this manner. If the idea was to build for a rematch, the finish should be one that has controversy to tell the story for a rematch. This was a finish that you do when a new guy comes in and he beats a well-respected mid-carder on the way up to main event status, or if it's a top guy because the top guy had given notice and was on the way out and he wanted to make a new star. In the end, this felt like they got a real WWE star to come in, and even though Strickland was a world champion for months, he's not the level of a real WWE star. It's exactly the perception that's a killer to AEW fans and makes the company seem secondary. Wow. WWE can afford to do it differently and bring in someone from AEW and push them hard because AEW isn't WWE. And Lashley was the one who should have had his hand raised here, but on a way to build a rematch, then they threw Prince Nana in the ring and put the hurt lock on Nana. So you and I were okay with this given the Nana angle at the end and assuming, and I haven't watched Dynamite, I don't know if they address it at all.
I haven't watched it either, no.
But assuming Strickland then retaliates against MVP, goading Lashley into a match, which I think is probably what they're going to do.
Seems likely, yeah. Maybe winter is coming, or if not that world's end, yeah.
Yeah. So, that all being said.
Wow, real good, but he really was down on the concept behind the finish.
Yeah,
so I think real good's been established somewhere between 3.5 and 3 3/4 stars. That's really good, I feel like.
Okay.
Considering he was down on the finish, go the lower end of that. I'm going to say you get the same score we did, 3.5.
So close, but a quarter off. Another doom. 3 3/4. Gave it 3 3/4.
Gosh.
Real good. Apparently he doesn't knock something. Well, I feel like this is kind of a high rating for this match. And if he's knocking the concept, was he
thinking 4 stars?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. All right, man. You have one more chance to get a boom on the thing here. All right. Jon Moxley retained the AEW title over Orange Cassidy in 1914. Cassidy came out with 3 orange punches and an elbow suicida. Moxley crotched him on the barricade. Cassidy was bleeding. Moxley gave him a paradigm shift on the steps, and then Marina Shafir kicked Cassidy in the head. Here we go. Moxley was biting Cassidy's fingers and threw him hard into the steps. This was so one-sided that I figured after all the heels going over strong, then they would be doing a shock happy ending. But it also wasn't the time for Moxley to lose. Cassidy would get fired up and Moxley kept kicking and suplexing him. He went for a Kimura, but Cassidy made the ropes. Moxley knocked Cassidy off the apron into the barricade and was scratching his back so hard it drew blood. Cassidy came back scratching Moxley's back, but it didn't draw blood. They traded near falls and the crowd was into Cassidy. He finally put his hands in his pocket and did the kicks. He did 2 orange punches. Moxley hit a hard clothesline, and Cassidy was back up with an orange punch and beach break for a great near fall. Claudio and Pat came out. Kyle O'Reilly, Ishii, and Rocky Romero came out. Castagnoli was killing Ishii and O'Reilly. Romero did a plancha off the post to the floor on everyone. Shafir went to use the briefcase, and Willow ran in and attacked her. Cassidy hit Moxley with the briefcase. The place would have exploded if that was the finish, as it was built up perfectly for that spot. But Moxley kicked out. Wheeler Yuta hit Cassidy with a running knee, and Moxley used the Death Rider for the pin.
Again, not much. You know, you went 4 1/4. You gave it 4.5 stars.
He gave it 4 stars. Exactly. Match was just sort of there to him, I guess. What did I give it? I gave it 4.25. What
Yeah, 4.25. I gave it 4 3/4.
You gave it 4 3/4. You almost went 5
sorry,
stars.
3
in this match?
3/4. Sorry, 3 3/4.
Oh yeah, that
no,
makes more sense.
Yeah, I wasn't as high on this as you were. No.
Meltzer split the Steven Larson difference.
Well, that was bogus.
He continues on here. He gave the post-show angle seemingly 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 stars.
Oh yeah, he does that sometimes.
It's just a breakup.
He was really into the car wreck aspect of it.
I think it's hilarious that he would give that 50 stars. But
Yeah.
no, it's just to break up the pages here. Yeah, he didn't even really editorialize that. He just says what happened.
You know, lately he has been really, even in the write-up before the individual star ratings, he hasn't really been editorializing a whole bunch there either.
You know, Blue Sky is a very AEW friendly place.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of people were not happy with Dave seemingly critiquing AEW and the current perception of the product.
Really? They disagree that something was missing.
Just an interesting side note. I've noticed that. Anyways, you know what, man? You just got back from Thanksgiving. I'm assuming you got all sorts of tryptophan in you, and you're back from the car, so a couple excuses there you can use.
You know, but this performance isn't too far from the norm, so it's not like they're good excuses.
Honestly, I think the only one on here that matters, you got right. The boom match.
The boom.
Anyways, let us know what you guys think about Dave Meltzer's star ratings. And remember, people, this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't need to hear you and your thoughts about Dave Meltzer and his thoughts on Dutch Mantel and all that stuff.
If you got thoughts about star ratings, why don't you share those thoughts about star ratings over on our star ratings?
Yeah, right, exactly.
And let us know what you think about our star ratings for Full Gear. They've been up for nearly a week. Mm-hmm. And then guess what? Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll have our star ratings up for Survivor Series.
That's correct. And we're going to be watching Survivor Series live probably like a little bit after this goes up. It's at 3 o'clock today, Pacific.
Yeah, it's nice and early.
I know. I love it. We get our evenings to ourselves.
I know. It's great.
Anyways, yeah. So join us over at the podcast channels, youtube.com/Steven Larson for the watch along and a review, or over at twitch.tv/Steven Larson. Until next time, we'll see you guys around.
Goodbye.